Yo, what up? What's poppin'? Back at it again with another video for y'all. And I got another question for y'all. Now, when it comes down to like the news, now, me personally, when it comes down to the world news, ABC World News, CNN News, MSNBC, NBC, when it comes down to the world news, I don't really watch the world news. Yeah, I don't watch the world news because it just shows like a lot of like stuff and a lot of it is like pretty much like propaganda. I don't really watch the world news. Now, when it comes down to the local news stuff that's going on in your local area, now I'll look at that, but the world news I don't watch because when it comes down to the world news, a lot of the stuff they show on the world news is like propaganda. But I got a question for y'all. I've done a bunch of videos about the school system, about how when it comes down to the school system, they want a nation of workers and not a nation of thinkers, of how school is pretty much like they pretty much be teaching you stuff where it's like a lot of it you're not even gonna use. Again, like I always be telling y'all, you have to learn how to read, write, add, subtract, multiply, divide, and you also have to learn how to count your money. But when it comes down to learning about mean, median, and mode, sine, cosine, tangent, polynomials, monomials, factor, and trinomials, all that other stuff, like, you don't really need to know that stuff. All that stuff they teaching you in algebra, 3x plus 3y equals 5x plus 2x squared, all that algebra, you don't really need to know all that stuff. When you graduate, you're not gonna use it. But the question that I have for y'all, has hearing about school shootings become the new normal when it comes down to people watching the news? Like when people watch the news, when they hear about the school shooting, I'm pretty sure for people that do watch the world news, when they hear about the school shooting, it's no longer surprising to them. It's starting to become the new normal. So, that's the question that I have. Has hearing about school shootings become the new normal on the news? Let's have a discussion about this. Chat with me, engage with me, drop me a comment in the comment section. Like I said, I don't watch the world news, but sometimes like when a school shooting goes down, sometimes they pretty much be having it everywhere when you hear about a school shooting, a mass shooting, because that's another thing. I even heard something about a mass shooting that happened somewhere in California. But yeah, let's chat. Let's have a discussion. I mean, if you a teacher and you watch the news, let's engage. I'm gonna give you my answer. For people that watch the news, it's like when they get off work, they come home, they turn to ABC World News. I'm pretty sure it's pretty much getting to the point where they're no longer surprised about hearing about a school shooting. I mean, like as a parent, like you really have to be conscious now these days. You really got to be careful when it comes down to sending your kids to school, because it seems like school has become one of the most dangerous places for students to be at. What I mean? With all the school shootings that be going down, with all the bullying that be going down, like all types of stuff. So to answer the question, for people that do watch the world news, I'm pretty sure they're starting to get used to it, hearing about a school shooting. Like, what I mean? You pretty much hear about a school shooting pretty much just about every year now. They constantly have discussions about teachers coming to school armed or unarmed, that, like all types of stuff. And I'm pretty sure now these days, and I do feel they do need, I do feel they gotta have discussions about how students can become more interested into coming to school, because if they come into school and they're being brainwashed and they know that they're being brainwashed, they're not gonna want to come to school. they're not gonna want to come to school. You gotta think of ways they can be interested. What are some ways you can think of ways students can be interested into coming to school? Study psychology. Now, me personally, like I said before, I'm not a psychologist, but I do have common sense, and so do you. I mean, I know like when it comes down to a student being brainwashed, being bored in the classroom because they know that they're being brainwashed just out of boredom, they may want to like mess with another student or may bully another student just because they're bored. You know what I mean? And it's not all students, but some of them. It's not all students. It's not all, yeah, people, but some of them. And again, like I said, I'm not a psychologist, but I do have common sense. You know what I mean? But that's the thing about it. It seems like we live in a day and age where common sense is not so common anymore. But yeah, like let's have a discussion about this. Chat with me, engage with me, drop me a comment in the comment section. Has has hearing about school shootings become the new normal when you watch the news? Let's chat about this. Don't forget, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell on my channel, comment, share, like the video. Love y'all.